Hey, welcome to Publishers Behaving Badly. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance. This episode goes all over the place. We actually filmed this last. It was supposed to talk about Radish, and we do talk about Radish, but then we talk about like nine other things and go down a variety of wormholes. So I hope you have fun.
Yay.
It seems like they were bought by it's Korea's Kakao Entertainment, and it seems like they went on a spending spree.
Mm.
And we're not getting the kind of return that they thought they were going to get. And they're just shuttering all the stuff that's not making a ton of money. So my guess is a lot of this gets pumped back into Tapas, but
Um, the money, yeah, apparently the Radish people have said to the Radish authors that there's not going to be any overlap between Radish and Tapa stories. So, like, if there are stories that are available in both, you can't import because you pay for the things, right? So, like, if you already paid for something in
Mhm.
Radish and that thing is available in Tapas for also premium, you have to pay for it again. And writers would have to like manually either put their paid stories from Radish for free in Tapas or try to reach out to the Tapas team directly and pitch them if like for the premium stories and everything that there's not really going to be a direct communication as a transition. This is again like allegedly as per this one person that if you want to, I mean, it's a very small YouTuber that I think if we, it was a good like information playlists, videos, history. It was good information, and then they also posted the screenshot of the email they got on Reddit. So it's someone that genuinely cares about this thing.
Yeah.
Here, I'll send you the the link because that was mostly my research data, like Googling and seeing Inkitt's desperate attempts to get readers, which also tells me the same thing. It's like, hey, there's a reading crisis going on, which ties with the whole the US is in a media, not media literacy. The other thing that I was seeing yesterday, it's in an illiteracy problem
Mhm. And I mean, I think
because
we could
people don't
probably
know how to read.
also tie this into if we wanted to, um, like just the abundance of AI books just because now people
Yeah.
are producing slop so quickly, so fast that people are like, oh, why would I pay 99 cents a chapter when I can pay $1.99 for an entire book? And that entire book might suck, but it knows what it is.
Which is something that I have seen online. Like I have seen like a screenshot of like Tumblr posts and stuff being like, oh, I don't use AO3 anymore because I just asked ChatGPT to write the fanfics that I want to read, which obviously is absurd and defeats the purpose, but that is unfortunately a lot of people's mentality. Very, very unfortunately.
All right, so we've got some potential talking points, so we'll just see where the conversation takes us. Um, everybody
Whoa,
ready?
your whole camera, it went.
Yeah, it's a new thing
Yeah,
with my
it's really
Mac.
cool.
Yeah, I've got to move over. It tries to follow me. Like, I had to change it because it was like zooming like way in on my face. Um,
That's
Now I'm still trying to
crazy.
figure out why the hell it won't recognize my mic though, so I know my audio sounds not great.
It doesn't sound like
It
as
looks
bad as
like
you
a tiny
probably
little
think.
cameraman who's following you, like,
Yeah, it's really cool. I think if you step back, it's probably gonna zoom in. What fell? Oh, it was just a paper. I saw in the
Hmm.
camera that something fell behind me and it got me so scared. No, I'm not recording yet. You look so cute with your little hat.
it just
Uh,
has two different pronoun things, and it's bugging me. There's two she theys.
That's
Does
weird.
it show up like that
oh,
for
it's
either of
because
you?
I put my pronouns. You don't have to put my pronouns in my name anymore. I put my
Oh,
pronouns in the Zoom settings. So they always
Um,
appear.
good catch. I did not even notice that. I was wondering why it
Yeah, me
seemed
neither.
so long, but it just did not even register to me.
no, like it changed, and if we look back at the recording, you can see the exact moment it did because my face, like, oh,
I saw you react to something, but I wasn't sure what it was.
what's that? I've just been staring at it this whole time.
Loving you's a game, but I
All right,
have that
well,
song
I
stuck in
think
my
if we can
head.
get this video done today, I'll try to edit tomorrow and potentially put it up on the weekend. Otherwise,
Perfect. I
we
can do a
can,
thumbnail probably today, so
yeah,
we don't have to
either
think
that or
about
we
it. And
can
then we
bump
have thumbnails for
the,
everything else.
yeah, I'd still need one for the fan fiction one. I didn't see one in there.
I did. I'll check.
Maybe
Maybe
I
I
missed it.
skipped it.
We need to like archive some of the old ones because there was like 85 in there at this point.
I can
Yeah.
just delete the.
Okay. Um,
Sabrina, that's very sweet. You're such a genuinely nice person.
we
Oh,
should
well,
keep
thank
it,
you.
we should keep a
It's
tab
so
on
weird
that.
that you like me. And I love you. Thank you. That's something that is very nice, that is very commendable because I would never do that. So I admire you even more for doing that.
Oh, well, I didn't mean to. It's not a brag thing. It's
No,
just
no,
that,
no,
like,
it's
I
not
felt
bragging. I
really
think
awful
it's really
about
sweet.
the
You
whole
are
thing to her.
genuinely a good person.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I
I
try.
love that from you.
From me.
I
That's
don't
not
know. I don't
usually
know
how
how
it
to
goes.
speak. I've been trying to develop a vocal fry. I'm gonna try in the podcast.
What's a vocal fry?
When you talk like this.
Oh,
Why do you want to
the
talk like
influence
that?
thing
Like a
where you talk
Cali
like
girl.
this, and you always put the question at the end of everything. That's
It's
how the influencers do it.
to
Oh
be
yeah, I've seen when
honest.
they're like, I tried using soap on my wood as polish. You're like, don't do that.
The vocal fry was because we spent the whole 4th of July weekend thing when we were in Westchester trying to find out ways to for me to avoid getting hate crimed. And I was like, I think I could probably sound like a Cali girl because I was trying to train my English pronunciation to make my accent less noticeable. I was like, if I just make a different accent, maybe that could be the trick. So I started talking like, oh my God, CJ, like the other day I was like doing this and it was very funny. So I was trying to make a vocal fry happen in
Okay,
public.
well, keep us updated. I guess
I also
we'll
learned how to
know.
say police in ASL and I forgot, but it's something that you do with like I think it's like something like this or something like that. And yes and
If
no and thank you. So I didn't have to
yes,
speak. Eh?
no,
No?
thank
And
you.
this is thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know?
I do.
Yeah. Very funny.
This
And this
all
is
the different
good. And I
dialects you're
think
trying to
this is like
master.
shit or something. So a lot of people do like shit. Like it's like an insult instead of thank you because they don't know yet, and it's very funny.
I um I like bullshit because it's so like easy to remember. It's
Oh
like a
yeah,
bull and then yeah,
bullshit, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
It's very intuitive.
I love ASL. One of my close friends when I was in Miami was in college for being an interpreter, and she would
I have a
talk to
friend who
me
does,
a
or
lot about
she
it.
studied it, but she didn't go into it.
It's extremely difficult and very hard as a hearing person to even be able to do that in a way that is extremely respectful and nice, apparently. She would tell me that it's like because of all of the discrimination that deaf and hard of hearing people have existed with like over the years, like against them. It's like very, very hard for them to open up to someone that is like hearing that doesn't understand all of the nuances of all of the cultural stuff that they have developed over like several decades. And it's like a very closed off thing of like, I am protecting myself and my community, and you will die if you try to hurt me, kind of thing. So it's like you have to be very delicate on how to approach it, extremely respectful in the way that you say almost everything. It's like very tense, but it was
Yeah.
very fun.
From the very little I know about it, I've heard that the culture of deafness is so strong that it's often referred to in the community as gaining deafness instead of losing your hearing
Mhm.
Yes, that is true.
because there's so much like culture and dialect and like community in basically every aspect of deaf life. So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I tried my hand at ASL in a brief class, and I did a BSL class and then an ASL class, but
Oh, that's cool.
it requires being able to act, which I
Yes,
can't.
which is so funny
Yeah,
and also hard.
yeah. So gotta keep working on it. I don't know enough about Radish to feel comfortable talking about it, but I'm trying to read up while we're talking.
I
I
mean,
mean, we
I think we
can,
can just start and then we just expand the topic.
Okay.
yeah, I think this is less going to be less a conversation about Radish and more about a conversation about the industry.
Okay. I can
So,
talk about the
Which
industry.
you know about the industry quite a
Yeah.
lot.
It is interesting to me that it keeps, I feel like it's not just Radish that's been acquired by a Korean conglomerate. The Wattpad
Yeah.
was it also a Korean?
yeah.
Wattpad
Yeah, I think never
acquired
Yeah,
is.
I get news updates about Wattpad and
Neighbor, South Korean company.
Webtoon
Yeah.
because Webtoon is owned by Wattpad, which is owned by a Korean.
Backwards.
Or is it backwards?
Webtoon acquired a Wattpad.
Oh, well, regardless, they're owned by the same parent company.
Yeah, they're all neighbor.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and it
That's
is strange that
curious.
they are all Korean.
Yeah. Well, and more than that, all the stuff that's not, you know, in the Korean umbrella of like Naver, or maybe I don't know if Radish was the same deal. Something else,
Radish
I
is
think.
Kakao. No?
Um,
But it's still Korean.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
but like curious. They're acquiring things in Korea, and I wonder why. This trying to make like a big writing platform thing for the Korean marketplace. I wonder like what I there's got to be plans that are like
Hmm.
So I think the reason behind acquiring those is because they want to own the sources of new manhwas and new like graphic novels, because I know that graphic novels do amazingly good in like a lot of like Asian markets. And one of the things that Wattpad started doing was that it started trying to, I think in English, I think in Spanish they never did it. Once they got acquired by Webtoon, started trying to get Wattpad stories to become Webtoons and then charge for the Webtoons. And then started just pushing out the Webtoons as physical graphic
Yeah.
novels. Tapas is also a graphic novel platform first and a novel platform second. And I think they have something similar that if they have premium stories that are just like prose, they try to see if they can adapt them as a graphic novel. So they're
Yeah.
probably just trying to buy off all of the possibilities to get source material to adapt them because they would have more access to that direct source material, in my opinion.
Yeah, they actually recently got in trouble because they tried to, I think it was a story first, and they tried to convert it into a webtoon. It's called like So I Married an Elementary Student or something like that.
oh
Why? Why? Why?
It was a
Why?
very popular story from my understanding.
Why?
oh
But yeah, and also like webtoons are getting animated series now. So like I think it's in the graphic part.
Yeah.
It's my opinion. Which even it makes sense because even like other stuff that didn't start as animated series or as webtoons and everything, like even D&D, because like the Prime series for Critical Role or like Dimension 20 has now like webtoons and stuff that are based on that. So apparently there's a market for graphic stuff. I know why, obviously, because people's attention span is dwindling and they're preferring graphic stuff over reading long prose because we are in a literacy crisis in the world right now. Everything ties up together. I'm satisfied with my conclusion.
Okay.
I mean, we should just publish this and just call it the
That's
hodgepodge
definitely like a
episode.
good, that's a very good short, YouTube short. And then you just like, hey, editing Tim here. By the way, welcome to the episode. And that's it.
So a little video of me down there like, hey.
Tim, was it what if no, was it my wife will become an elementary school student?
No, let me see if I can find it real fast. Oops, wrong account.
Monpia, Joara, Naver, and Kakao. I'm reading the thing that you said. Oh, there's more. It's very
See, a live
interesting.
action TV series for the controversial webtoon The Elementary School Student That I Love has
Ooh.
been canceled because it's about an elementary school teacher sexualizing a fifth grader.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. I
Oh,
hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Jail! Prison! Prison!
controversial webtoon
So,
indeed.
It
so
does.
do
It
to,
shouldn't be
so
controversial. It should be illegal.
so the elementary student that I love is about a teacher who develops feelings for someone while playing an online game. She later finds out that the man she thought she was playing with is actually one of her fifth grade students.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
this is not presented as a comedic misunderstanding and a call to reevaluate her life, but as a romantic complication, which is where the plot starts to run off the rails.
That's absolutely disgusting, and I hate it. I hate this.
So,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I think I mean, if we get down this rabbit hole, we might as well record on this instead of Radish.
So
This
sorry
is
to
literally a
derail.
hodgepodge episode.
You sprinkled that in as an interesting an interesting little tangent, and I went down the rabbit hole, and now I'm invested.
All right, so this is the official. We're just gonna call this rabbit hole episode. I'll edit that into the beginning. But I think the only reason that that was potentially successful to begin with is because the gender roles were reversed.
I was going to say the same thing.
Because it's not like the one that we talked about way early on in the series, Beatrice, where it was the older man and the younger woman. Now it's the older woman and the younger man, whereas that is unfortunately viewed as more acceptable, despite the fact that it's still disgusting.
Disgusting.
I like it. Go off. Yeah, yeah, vocals.
All right, do we want to continue just doing like a hodgepodge of rabbit hole stuff, or do we want to actually record
Honestly,
on
let's
Radish?
do the rabbit hole. I like this. I am a fan of like going too deep into rabbit holes and then regretting it
Yeah.
immediately.
No regrets.
I hate this. I hate everything. Oh
Yeah,
my
it got,
God.
hang on, I don't remember if there was a budget for it like listed, but
Oh, is there gonna be a live action version?
oh, it
That
was. I
feels
didn't see
weirder.
that. I
Yeah,
just
that you said like the live action was canceled. That is the headline that you just read.
Oh yeah, yeah. Huh.
It just
You
didn't
know, there's a
register.
We need
lot
more
going
podcast
on.
episodes that are just us screaming at stuff. I love this.
Well, I mean, I think the way I process it is like it was like not like short animation, it was like a like longer episode, something like that. But yeah. So they confirmed they're suspending further future development of the series, citing serious concerns raised by society and the changing sensitivities and expectations of the public. So that's
Concerns
saying
raised
that it
by
used to
society.
be acceptable. This is some and the to be fair, this is the not necessarily fair, but let's make sure we have the facts. This was in South Korea. Um, so there is most likely a difference in societal values. Um, however, I don't want to say that they do accept adults and children having relationships. But being Americans, we have different societal
Oh,
values, so we might see things differently. But it says basically everyone online, including the largest South Korean teachers union, told them that this was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
This was quote from that was quote from a popverse.com episode article.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
But
I'm
Also,
glad that that one got
this
canceled.
also, I changing the topic again because this is a rabbit hole. I started researching onto why more and more Korean like companies are buying the things, like the premium reading apps and everything. And it's kind of what we were saying about a K-drama, where is the article? I have like a couple of articles that I'm reading from. One of them is Korea Tech Desk, and it's an article from 2022 actually. So it's been happening for a little bit. Sales in the South Korean webtoon industry surged to KRW 1.83 trillion, which is equivalent to $1.3 billion in 2022. I am assuming that that's higher now.
yeah.
And it's the fifth consecutive year of growth. And there's been like a boom in K-drama, K-pop, and K-movies. K-webtoons are gaining
Oh yeah,
popularity.
what's that new one like Kpop Demon Hunter or something like that? I've been
Yeah,
seeing shit
I
all
love
over
that
threads for
movie.
that.
Actually, Beatrice and I are having a like TV, like a movie watch party tomorrow to watch that movie.
Yes,
I
because
have
I want to
seen
watch
it
it so
six
much.
times now,
Oh
and
my
this will be
gosh.
my seventh.
I'm very excited. So, also very important and very interesting that I didn't even think about it. They are buying these things because they already have a fan base. So as soon as they adapt it to the webtoon, they immediately are going to grab all of the fans because also it's going to be the app is going to be owned by them. So they don't have to do all of the things of like trying to reach out externally to all of the people that
Mm,
previously liked this thing. And if you think about it, like Lookism, extremely popular now. I think it got adapted by for like I think an animated series or something. Lore Olympus, probably one of the biggest like webtoons ever, and now you see them in every single bookstore as like serialized graphic novels, like all of these things. So it makes sense acquiring the content, acquiring the fan base, having more direct access to the IP, and also don't having not having competition because you're buying off the competition. Imagine tomorrow, like a random Korean company calls Sabrina. It's like, hey, would you like to sell StoryForge? We're like, no.
You're you're joking, but I do get probably 3 emails a day from random people who are like, "Are you looking to sell StoryForge? We're looking to buy it." And I'm like, "Sure you are."
mm. Yeah, we'll take a down payment of $1 billion.
Yes,
Yeah.
for starters.
But um
And then the condition is that you can't make absolutely any decisions, and everyone that is working in StoryForge has to stay.
so one thing so back to as we're spiraling through our rabbit holes, I was reading an article about from self-publishing advice.com or .org about Vella closing, and they were claiming a lot of it has to do with the decline in youth reading for pleasure, which we've talked about on definitely another episode. I don't remember which one at this point, but that is clearly not what is factoring into Radish closing. Like Radish and reading for pleasure seem like they have little to do with each other since Radish is largely romance serial fiction based on some of the subreddits I've read. Like a lot of the authors are moving in towards like kink sites, which learned a whole lot of those exist and didn't need to know that.
It is the rabbit hole episode indeed.
Yeah. Um, but so I guess what why are these serialized sites shutting down? Because I mean these are two. We had another one. I know Beatrice, you have your theory on the illiteracy
Ill
ill
Illiteracy.
illiteracy.
yeah illiteracy
Say
of
something
America.
else.
But I mean I feel like it has more to do with that because I mean no offense to anyone that writes on Radish, but I'm sure there are a number of stories that are poorly written, but people still love because it's smut.
I also have like another conspiracy theory. This is the rabbit hole and conspiracy theories video. And it's that And this is happening mostly in platforms that are like premium platforms, right? Platforms that it's like you are going there expecting to make money. If you are giving people that quick, like that easy way to like quote unquote make money, and like you're promising that, a lot of the user base that you're going to have are people that are going to be there just to write, just to share their stuff, just to make money, not necessarily to actually consume the content. Especially because if they're trying to make money, they're not going to pay money to consume the rest.
Hmm.
And I think that's one of the main issues why I think in general in most writing platforms, but specifically this, there's such an imbalance between readers and writers. The writers are there because they want to have people paying them for their stories because you as an artist should get paid for your work. That is
Hmm.
true. But they don't have an interest in that like relationship of then going read another story, maybe pay for another story, and kind of like form that sense of community. It seems more like a business.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that not a lot of people read in general because that's not what the platform promises. The platform is marketed for writers, marketed in general, like these platforms, they're marketed for writers, marketed as a way that you can get your stuff out there and get paid for it. But I don't see as much emphasis on you as a reader can find XYZ, or you as a reader can like support writers and all of that. So that's like I see it so vividly because we have had to very intentionally find ways to market StoryForge in ways that we both have people that want to write, but also want have readers that want to discover the stories and want to support authors and everything. And a lot of the market research that I have done on how other companies do it, I don't see a lot of people unless it's like a very big headliney premium story from like Wattpad that they're dedicating a single post and like, hey, buy this immediately. A lot of effort into finding out what readers want and then letting them know why they would like it. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
No.
do we
But go ahead,
I
P.
loosely followed it. But I was gonna say, do we think this is maybe similar to kind of the issue that we were trying to troubleshoot? I think troubleshoot is the wrong word. But with StoryForge and the idea of, it's not based on popularity, whereas like we're seeing Inkitt trying to recruit writers off of Radish, and they basically said, yeah, it's all about popularity. Um, I don't know.
Sabrina's doing the confused puppy face, so I will read. Inkit released an Instagram post saying, "Hey, Radish is very sad. Radish closing is very sad. We want to welcome authors to Inkit, whatever." And they say that, and this is in their Instagram post, right? I'm gonna read it textually, and then I'm going to say our interpretation of it.
Okay.
Why choose Inkit? The world's first reader-powered publisher. Inkit is driven by its readers, who are trendsetters. The more readers love your story, the more likely it is to get picked up for a publishing deal with our sister app Galatea. Some stories even get adapted into bite sized series. What that tells me is hey, if you want to get money through Galatea, you have to have a very big reader fan base and be popular for us to pick you up for a publishing deal, which a lot of the problems over there is that the market is so saturated that it's very hard for writers that are writing very good stories to get so many readers and for readers to find them because the market is oversaturated and all of that in StoryForge.
Well, I mean, it's kind of conflicting things. If you're a writer, then you don't want popularity to matter because you want your work to be able to like be seen and be judged just on its own merit, as opposed to like feeling like you have to play a certain game in order to get seen. Um, and like playing that game is different than than the skills for writing the book. And
Yeah.
sometimes you get folks who are good at both, and sometimes you get folks who are really good at playing the game, but maybe the writing is not very good. And some people, a lot of people, I think, are really good writers who just don't have the patience to figure out like what is the specific actions I need to take to get seen and popular on this platform versus, the other platforms that this might be on. So that's the game the writers want. The writers want the popularity not to matter. But if you're a reader, you want to know that you're not wasting your time and that the thing that you're looking at and thinking about, going into and trying will actually be a fun read, which is really hard to tell when you don't have the data from other people going like, yes, I loved this. This is one of my favorite stories. Like, 10,000 people have read this, or it's gotten like 800 likes or whatever like that. Um, so the reason that the platforms have been having trouble with finding that balance is because the needs of the two different people they're serving are directly in conflict.
And that's how StoryForge was born.
Yeah.
No, but it is hard, and I think it's like a problem in general with storytelling and storytelling that is intended to be consumed by anyone at some point. Like obviously we're talking about books, but I think this goes be like to probably like indie filmmaking and like all of those other things as well, and even maybe even music, like just creating stuff in general because it's hard. It's hard. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry, I'm very distracted today.
Okay, it's
It
the
is the
rabbit hole
rabbit hole.
episode.
Yeah. And I mean,
I love these episodes. We should do more.
I think another big issue that's related to probably both Vela and Radish is just the stranglehold that Wattpad has on everything. Like it's
Which
just
is
so
very
overwhelming.
frustrating because it's a monopoly and monopolies are bad
Mhm.
regardless of like what it is.
Is it a monopoly in a technical sense?
I
Technically,
don't think it's
no.
in a technical
No,
sense.
because they're, I mean, I think it probably depends on how you break it down. But I mean, they do own a large enough share that someone could probably make that argument. But because there are so many viable alternatives, the answer is no. Like you are not forced to go to Wattpad.
I
Like
feel
you obviously
the
have the option of Tapas, you have the option of StoryForge, you have the option of Inkitt. You have all those other options. But as of right now, the path to success for online writers is typically through Wattpad or now through self-publishing and hopefully eventually through the StoryForge legendary path to publishing.
the reason why I personally believe from like my author experience, right? This is my like my personal opinion that it feels like a monopoly is because Wattpad has been there for a really long time and a lot of like the Wattpad has a very big user base because it has been there for a really long time and a lot of people use it and a lot of people stay there no matter the changes that happen there because it's like what they know at this point, and at the end of the day a lot of people are going to choose the thing that they know on the same place that they've been going for years and years or end on end than trying something that is more recent that maybe they don't know because it's unknown and whatever. Very similar to why people that have read their entire lives in AO3 stay in AO3 forever. They don't even go to Wattpad or any other sites because it's like the bad, versus like something else that is like the unknown or something. I know there's a saying for
The
that.
devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Thank you. And that's kind of how it feels. And it's hard, like for me particularly, and in Spanish, which is even more limited. When I got Glora deleted from Wattpad, I had like 100 people a day messaging me that they wanted to read it. And as soon as I put it in another platform, none of those people, like I would literally respond to them. I'll be like, hey, it's not in Wattpad anymore. I think I put it in BookNet at the time, which was the main competitor to Wattpad in Spanish. None of the they said, oh, if it's not in Wattpad, I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to download another platform just for you. I'm not going to make an account somewhere else just for you. And that I think is something that is sad, it's annoying, but it's like and if it's an experience that I had, I will, and I am not a big person in the industry, I am going to assume that other people have had similar experiences on, even as authors trying to move to other places that maybe they would like better as an author, and having the readers be like, okay, I'm not going to read you then because it's more comfortable for me to use the tools that I've been using to read all of this time. And it's been happening too with like people that I know have done very well in Wattpad, and they try to self-publish, and the readers like, no, because you're not in Wattpad anymore, so why would I? You've abandoned me. And it's frustrating on very different sides, and I try to be devil's advocate and understand that readers are used to one thing and they don't want to try new things, but also like, if you really like the stories, why wouldn't you give the opportunity to the author wherever the author is? It's a very complicated like situation, but I think it's true. And yeah, saying people, yeah, I'm not going to download this for you in my face again and again and again really, really humbled me.
But that was a pretty rough experience.
Yeah, it was. We have already talked. We have already talked about it. That was probably one of the lowest points of my life, including immigrating to another country completely by myself. I feel like probably that experience was worse.
Oh.
Yeah,
But
not
that's
good.
like there's so much like that's personal wrapped up in any writing project that you do. I feel like
Yeah.
this anything that you write, it's got like little pieces of your soul in it. So when you hear negative things about it, or people who are just not even acknowledging how much of yourself you put into it, then that hurts. It hurts in a way that your ordinary like I think other projects that you might work on don't hurt. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's the same for any creative endeavor. But I think writing just it usually seems like it cuts especially deep.
It does, and I think that's like I'm like objectively very sad about like all of these things closing, because I just think about the writers that dedicated so much time to this platform specifically, and like knowing that it's hard to start from scratch. And I've seen like in Reddit, and like I saw the video that I was talking about of the, like the person that writes in Radish and everything, like just the sadness and the frustration, and like wanting to make the stories available for their readers that they already have, but kind of wondering if they even will stay. I think that's something that is not really talked about enough when all of these sites just close. Like Kindle Vella, probably like the people that wrote there had something similar, especially because a lot of these platforms have exclusivity contracts. Radish had a 6 months exclusivity contract in which you couldn't put your stories anywhere else for 6 months. Therefore, you couldn't grow your audience anywhere else. And we see this even with influencers. If someone is like blowing up on TikTok, it doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to follow their Instagram or their YouTube channel. My favorite YouTubers that have like millions and millions of subscribers, a lot of them have like 2,000 followers on Instagram, because those like people develop a very social relationship with you, but only whenever it's convenient to them. And then when it's the second that it stops being convenient, then they don't want to support you, but they're still like asking for you to owe like them something, and like to expend all of your energy on it. And like, I don't know, like being a creator in general of stuff, but specifically online, is like very delicate. I see that happening with Etsy too, that Etsy now is closing up a whole bunch of accounts, and then people that had their stores for like 10 years there were like, if I, start selling from my own website, are people even going to start buying at
Hmm.
all? And it's just so frustrating in general when these things just cease to exist. And then the
Well,
less, the least of them exist, the more it becomes a monopoly, just because of how limited the options are.
yeah. Well, I'll add to that like the selling on a particular platform, whether it's Etsy or like a writing site that you've devoted a bunch of time and effort to. It's what I was talking about earlier. Like playing the
Yes.
game of a particular website, like it does require a lot of like skill and expertise, and there are little tricks that work on one platform but will not work on another. Because I used to sell on Etsy, and I would study a bunch of other vendors and see what was working for them and how they were labeling things and what kind of cute descriptions they had and try and like mimic the things that were most successful. But that doesn't mean that it would work at all if I took the same like penguin carvings that I was that I was selling and put them on like Facebook Marketplace or something. Um, because it's not the same market. It's not the same site. People are looking at things with different expectations. So it's a frustrating place to be a creative for sure.
Yeah. I feel like the odds are really kind of stacked against anyone trying to be creative because if you don't land in the right platform, you have basically zero chance of building your
And at the
platform.
right time.
Yes. Because like so let's say, Sabrina, you were selling stuff on Etsy. If you had started selling from just a website that you built by yourself, you would most likely never sold a thing. Like unless you happen to catch a couple of people
No.
on social media or something like that. So
No,
these,
I would probably have gone to art fairs instead, because
yeah,
I don't think anyone would just visit the website by itself,
exactly.
except maybe
Yeah.
like an aunt or something.
Yeah, it's interesting. And we wish the people at Radish the best. Hopefully they can find new homes, whether it be Wattpad, Tapas, StoryForge, Inkitt, whoever you want, any of those other sites we mentioned before. If any members of Radish are listening, use promo code Radish when you sign up for an account in StoryForge, get an additional 50 free quills. But
Yay. You can have little pets, and they're very
yes,
cute. And you can decorate your library and make it all you and all nice. And you can have little look. This is a little room that you can put furniture in, and everything's so pretty. Guys, I really like
Did you just have that
StoryForge.
on your desk?
Yeah, it's one of our stickers. Check our red bubble. I have also the furniture.
hmm, that's the Coquette set.
That's the coquette set.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was one of the very early ones.
Yeah,
it is, but still cute.
yeah, I love it.
All right. Well, on that note, publishers behaving badly. It's not you. It's them. And this time when it came to staying on topic, it was us. So,
We did not, but it was fun
I love
anyway.
this episode.